but I think Utah's going to win by 6. I don't know why I feel good about the number 6. I think that's what Utah's going to win by. Called it. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Fox On. For once, I think we actually have some good stuff to talk about. Usually I feel like I'm just kind of trying to reach and find things to discuss, but today I think we actually got some good stuff. Starting with, we finally got the win over the Arizona Wildcats. Utah started 0-9 against the Arizona Wildcats in Pac-12 play, so it was nice to finally get that monkey off our backs. Hopefully football can follow suit. Kyle, looking at you, it's up to you now. Though I guess we already beat Arizona in football. Remember John Hayes, how he beat Arizona once? Man, those were the days. I hope you were able to make it out to that game because it was awesome. The environment was great. The crowd was loud, especially when Brandon Taylor made that ankle-breaking three-pointer. That was awesome. I don't think I've ever heard the Huntsman Center be that loud before. It was crazy. It was great. Just some good highlights from that game. Obviously, Brandon Taylor, I think that performance might have even earned him National Player of the Week honors, which is cool. He did that by going 7 of 9 from the field for 19 points, and he had 5 steals, which that's awesome. Jakob Poeltl, of course, the monster with another double-double. 14 points, 10 rebounds. He didn't get a whole lot of touches on offense, but he made them count every time. He was really efficient. He pulled the same move on Tarczewski like 2 or 3 times, and he couldn't stop it. It was awesome to watch. And the best part is after that game, Utah moved up to 13 in both the AP and coaches polls, which is awesome. They have a top 15 basketball team, and I think that they deserve that. I think for a while they were unranked and still winning games, and so I think now they're kind of getting the respect they deserve. They moved up really fast. It seems like, I think it was 2 weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago, they weren't even ranked, and now they're 13th. And Joe Lunardi's even got him as a 3 seed in his bracketology. So a lot of respect coming Utah's way lately, especially from national polls and national media, which is really cool to see. We're not done yet. We've still got our rivals, our hated rivals, the Buffaloes of Colorado. Last time we played Colorado up in Colorado, it was nail biter. In case you don't remember that game, that's the game where Lorenzo Bonham drove in for the layup at the very end there to get the win. So that game was also kind of Bonham's coming out party. I think he led the team in scoring with 17 points. Kuzma had a really good game that week as well. But other than that, it was really kind of an ugly game, really. It was a low-scoring game, ended 56-54. Poeltl didn't really do much. I think he had like 6 points. He had a lot of rebounds, but offensively could not get going. The thing about Colorado is they have a senior big man in Josh Scott who averages basically 17 and 9 a game. Guy's a handful. He gets it done on both ends of the floor, and I think, outside of him though, Colorado doesn't get a whole lot of production. I think there's 2 other scorers who average in double figures, and then everybody else is 7 points or less. So there's really not a whole lot of distribution from Colorado. So if you could slow down Josh Scott, not an easy thing to do, but if anybody's up for the task, it's Jakob Poeltl, and I think he can do that to help us get that win at home on senior night. So we'll get to see our fearless seniors off. In today's world of college basketball, there's not a whole lot of seniors left. It seems like most players leave early. For example, Jakob Poeltl is probably going to leave early. We'll get to see players like Jordan Loveridge and Brandon Taylor who've given so much to this program, and they committed. The seniors who are leaving now committed when Utah was literally at its worst. We owe them a whole lot for the turnaround of this program, especially guys like Jordan Loveridge and Brandon Taylor. Come see these guys off and show them your appreciation. Jakob Poeltl was also just named, I think today that list came out, to the Naismith top 10 finalists for Player of the Year, which is pretty freaking cool. But that list is stacked. I don't know if you've seen the other players who are in it. I think there's 5 other seniors in it. And then you got, Ben Simmons, who's kind of a freshman phenom. Grayson Allen, everybody's favorite white Duke player. Buddy Hield from Oklahoma, who's really good. Denzel Valentine. So there's a lot of good players. Valentine. Is Valentine the bad guy from GoldenEye? Or not necessarily the bad guy? I don't know. Whatever. The Michigan State guy is on that list as well. So they'll narrow it down to 4 on March 20th. I honestly I don't think Poeltl's going to make it on that list unless he has an amazing Pac-12 tournament and where Utah either wins or plays in the final game, and Jakob Poeltl plays really well. That's the only way I can see him making it in the Final Four of that group. It's just that stacked. It's a really good group. But you know, while we're on that subject, when I first started making these videos, I put out a test video just to see if I enjoyed doing this, if this is something people would want to see. And in it, I kind of discussed why I wanted to do this, and it was mostly because I was frustrated with local media coverage of the University of Utah. And now that could just be me being a complete Utah homer who just wants nothing but Utah news. I can see that it could definitely be that. But I think, you know, I listen to at least an hour of morning sports radio every day. And if I'm not listening to Dan Patrick, you know, the only other two options here are 1280 and 1320, and I kind of try and flip back and forth just to, you know, find what's interesting. Maybe there's some good jazz talk over here or something interesting over there. And when I found out that Poeltl was named to the Naismith finalist list, I thought, oh man, this is definitely going to be the talk of the town. And driving on my commute coming in and just kind of flipping back and forth, and I would say I was listening straight for, I don't know, 45 minutes. And nothing at all. And I don't know, maybe that's just me being too demanding. I don't know. And I can't speak for afternoon radio because I don't really get a chance to listen to that. But sometimes I feel like, you know, the way the media gushes over certain things that maybe perhaps don't matter anymore, when there's a top 15 basketball team and a Player of the Year finalist, you know, right up the road from where they all do their shows from, and you can't even get a peep out of them about it, it can get kind of frustrating. And further, you get some media members on Twitter, if you're not on Twitter, who just kind of almost poke fun at the fact that, like, people only talk about BYU. I don't know, it's kind of weird. It's a weird situation. Like, and don't get me wrong, there's a ton of great media members out there who are doing great things and covering Utah in a really great way that I really like, especially, you know, obviously ESPN 700 is basically all Utah. But sometimes you want to get a mix. You know, it's not that I want someone who's just going to feed me the red Kool-Aid. I just want to hear other opinions about it. And it seems like sometimes it can be really hard to get that, especially from morning sports radio. That's really the most that I listen to. And I know a lot of other Utah fans share in that frustration, which is kind of funny because Utah fans will complain about it on Twitter, and then other Utah fans will complain about the Utah fans complaining about it on Twitter, and then more Utah fans will complain about those Utah fans who complain about Utah fans complaining about media coverage of Utah. Where am I? Anyway, you got to tell me, am I making this up? Am I being ridiculous here? Am I just missing something? Am I just accidentally listening to the wrong morning hour of sports radio and getting nothing but BYU spring football and BYU's new coaching staff and how much the Jazz are up and down, you know, the occasional sprinkling of Jazz coverage, and I'm just missing the Utah stuff? I don't know. Maybe that's the case. So if that's the case, please let me know. But other than that, I'm just looking forward to the Colorado game this Saturday. Once again, it's senior night, so if you can make it out, please do. This will be I think it'll be a really cool dedication, a really cool moment, really emotional moment for those players. So if you can make it out, please do. But that's all I've got for you today on Wednesday, on Hope Day. So box off.